everybody. Welcome back to the Brittnee Smith podcast. I am your host, Brittnee N. Smith, and I am so excited about today's conversation. I probably say that about every episode simply because I get to interview and just chat with all my friends this season. And so we are back at it with another one of my friends. I have some really dope friends now that I'm like pausing to think about it. Like, Lord, what do I do to deserve these caliber of women in my life? So wow. I have with me today Miss Giselle Quintanilla, and she is the CEO and founder of Ready Writer Services. Okay, I was gonna say enterprises, Ready Writer Services, and she's gonna tell you more about that in a minute. But if you're new here and this is your first time chiming in or tuning in with me, welcome. And if you didn't know, this summer we are dedicating the podcast to the strong friend. The strong friend is the one who serves everyone else. She's the one who forgets to take care of herself. She's the one that people assume is good, so they don't check on her because they think she's got it all together and she really doesn't. Um, and at the same time, she's incredible. She's gifted. She's talented. She's a lover, a nurturer. She's a supporter. She's a value and a gift to all the circles that she moves in. And so it is a hashtag Strong Friend Summer. And I am again chatting with all of my people that I consider strong friends. Now, one thing I noticed is that when I posted on social, like, hey, where are my strong friends at? I was expecting people to go, hey, y'all, it's me. They were like, we don't want to be the strong friend. Like straight up like voice notes in my inbox, like, yeah, no, I don't want to be the strong friend. I don't want to be nobody's strong anything. And I was like, oh, snap. So, what I've determined and endeavored to do through this season is to redefine what it means to be the strong friend. I want to be strong in the Lord.
Yeah.
Okay. In all of the things that I do and all of the hats that I wear. And so we're creating space for the strong friend on this season, and we're encouraging her, we're loving on her, we're shouting her out. There's going to be some strong friend events coming up this summer that we're just going to get together and have fun. Because when is the last time you just had fun with your girlfriends? Okay. Don't answer that question. Probably been too long. So, like I said, today we have Giselle Quintanilla with us today, and she is going to chat with us about building together, building things with your friends, building your dreams with your friends, working with them, building the empires, right? Because birds of a feather flock together. And so, if you're listening right now and you're an entrepreneur, you need entrepreneur friends that get it. And so Giselle's going to talk to us a little bit about what that looks like in her life. So, Giselle, thank you for joining me today.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for having me. First, let me say this, right? Because Brittany's over here like, I have some dope friends. And meanwhile, I'm on the screen like, look at my dope friend over here talking. Come on, girl. Let's redefine strong friend. Because I'm here for it. I am here for it. I love that you talked about redefining the strong friend because I think that we coin certain terms, right? And we're like, oh, this is like the superwoman. Nobody wants to be superwoman no more, right? And like, I'm not a superwoman or Wonder Woman. Nobody wants to be Wonder Woman anymore. Nobody wants to be the strong friend anymore. And I think that it's so important to your point of, I'm gonna be strong in the Lord, redefining what that means. I feel like that's amazing because really, and this plays into having a group of your squad, a group of dope friends, right? Your squad, and why you can build together. Because when you understand that your strength is in the Lord, right? The Bible says that the Holy Spirit comforts us so that we can comfort others. So our comfort comes from Him, our strength comes from Him. And when we draw on that, we really are able to be the strong friend. And right. And so imagine now if you have a group of women, a group of strong friends who understand that and draw on that. Well,
Yeah.
we replenish each other and we pull each other up. And that's how you build. That's how you build. And so I love that so much that is your mission. That's what you're doing, my dope friend, because that is what I have. That's what I have currently. And that is what I had even when I was going through a season that was painful for me. a season where I couldn't even, listen, I could barely be strong for my kids, let alone
Right.
myself,
Yeah. Yeah.
And in that season, that's what was going on. One of my friends did a group chat. She made a group chat, and the five of us, we were just talking, and we're over here really sharpening each other. Those were my strong friends. And eventually, now, as I was healing, I became also a strong friend, right? And so, at any given point where somebody's going through something, out of that came even another venture where now, there's a group of us that are building this amazing company together, and we're here for each other. And the beautiful thing about it, Brittnee, is, as strong as we are, we have to recognize that there are certain strengths that belong to us. It's our own type of strength. And I want to make sure I'm clear about that, because a lot of times we think we have to be strong in every area. I know where I'm strong. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going through something, I will sit and listen to you all day long. Let's talk on the phone. I'll listen. I'm going to hear you. I'm going to pray with you, right? There are certain areas where I'm not the strongest, and somebody else then needs to step in and be that strong friend. You need to recognize where are your strengths so that you can be that strong friend. And then who are the people that are like that for you in your life?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love this conversation already because I know that there are so many women out there who feel like they don't have that support. And you might be listening right now and you're like, that sounds nice, that sounds good, but I don't have that. So I know that it can be a really long story, but just give us a glimpse into how well, first tell us about B3 Media, what y'all do, what it's all about, and then kind of take us briefly through the story of how the friendships birthed this thing.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. So B3 Media is a media production company that is geared towards creating content for women. It is all positive. It promotes just women who are brave, who are brilliant, who are bodacious and comfortable being themselves. So you want to see yourself on the screen, you're going to see yourself on the screen. And I absolutely love this group of ladies, these powerhouses. I call them the B3 bosses. That's who they are to me. I said, B3 bosses, I am so honored to be a part of them because each one of us, we're strong in our own lanes. And so, it has been amazing. We taped our first, few shows today. So it's been, whew, my
Yay!
goodness.
That's exciting.
Yes, it was very exciting. It was a lot of fun too. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So how it happened though is it actually came from what happened during the pandemic and the group that we formed, where it was a friendship. A lot of it, some of it was we worked with each other. So, with Ready Writer Services LLC, a few of them I worked with, right? They were my clients and I helped them with their books. And but then we also, we go to the same church. Now, this is the part for me, because you said, Brittnee, somebody might be hearing this and saying, that's great, but I don't have that. So I'm gonna speak culturally, right? So I'm Latina, and culturally, Hispanic people do not share what happens in their house. We don't share about our family. We don't really dive deep. Like we have friendships, but you can't know all the things, right? So that group in particular, we were part of a group chat, and that was the first time that I opened up to them. And I said, listen, this is what's happening right now. I'm going through something. It's a pandemic. We're socially distanced, but yet in my house, I'm going through the pain of separation and divorce. And I had to open up. So for the people listening saying, I don't have that, you might have to make that first step. I'm going to be honest. You might have to conquer some stuff, press through, whatever it is that's holding you back from forging those relationships. That's what I had to do. And from there, we just grew because I grew to trust them. And in that trust, now, we trust each other with B3 Media.
Yeah. No, and I love that because you're so right. Transparency inspires trust.
Absolutely.
And you have to show yourself friendly to be received and perceived as a friend or as friendship material. And I literally had a conversation earlier today on another episode, and we talked about how you have to be able to connect. And in order to do that, you have to put yourself out there. You
Right.
can't know love without risk,
You
period.
can't. You
But at the same time, there's nothing like the love of a sister friend, you know, because especially when they get it, like, oh, she's a mama like me. She's in ministry like me. She's married like me. She got kids like me.
Yep, she
She
did
likes
just like me.
chocolate ice cream, but needs to lose a couple pounds like me. Like what, whatever it is, right? Like
All of it.
it hits so different. And I think even too to be in the space where you can be that for someone else is also fulfilling because we're nurturers, right? We are
Right.
supporters at heart. So it's just a beautiful thing. And so to your point, if you find yourself not having that, you kind of want to do an assessment. It
Right.
doesn't necessarily mean that you're the issue and nobody likes you. No, it's not what I'm saying. However, sometimes we give off a certain vibe that repels, that kind of intimacy and friendship. Sometimes we have to heal, which is like, again, you guys are going to listen to the other episode and it was so good. Sometimes you got to heal from some things
Yeah.
because you might be triggered by the women around you and be like, I don't want no parts of it. So it's so many layers to it. But when you do have that level of trust, you feel safe enough to say, let's build something together. Why? Because building something with someone else is a different kind of commitment.
Oh, yes.
Like, because now we all have to sacrifice together. We all have to contribute together. We all have to show up together. We all are now leaning on each other for
Right.
the success of this thing.
Right.
And it's now reliant on our togetherness,
That's right.
right? And go
No, no,
ahead.
no, no. I love it because you're absolutely right. And what's so funny, so I am all about marketplace ministry. I love business. I love entrepreneurship. And one of the things that businesses really focus on is community, right? It's community. It's bringing people together, and it's team. Why? Because statistically, we are less likely to quit on a team, right? We're less likely to quit on a team. We're more likely to quit on ourselves. If it's
Mm,
just us, it's easier to quit on me than it is if I'm part of a team and now I got to quit on a team.
right, right. So talk about that. I mean, I know that the list of the beautiful things and the great things about working with your friends, I know that there's a nice list of that. But tap into some of the challenges you might come across when trying to work with friends. I know working with family is dicey, but like
Right.
working with friends, what are some of the challenges that we might face?
So I think some of the challenges is just as if you were working with people who aren't, it's different personalities. We have
Mm,
different personalities. And here's the thing, right? When you are in a friendship setting, it's laid back and it's different than when you are in a business setting. Because now in business, it's like, okay, we can still have fun. I'm not saying don't bring your personality, but now you have different layers, right? Now it's consistency, it's scheduling, it's time, right? You're giving this time. And you know what happens. So, the more time you spend with people, it's like with family, right? You're in their house, you're constantly around each other. Now stuff's getting on your nerves, right? Like, why are you chewing with your mouth open? Like, why, like it's little things like that, right? So the more time you spend with people, the more likely you are to really feel like, okay, this is what is happening right now. And you have different personalities, you have different people with different skill sets. So one of the things that number one, and always y'all, you have to keep your friends in prayer because at the end of the day, we're human and we don't know what's going on, right? We don't know what kind of day somebody had. We don't know what happened right before they came to the meeting or whatnot. So, really keeping them in prayer, understanding and allowing them to be who they are, and you understanding who you are, how you operate, right? So, that self assessment part, I love that you said that, Brittnee, because you really have to be aware. So, for me, it's like I operate a certain way. So, certain times I get a little bit impatient and I'm like, come on, like, right? But I have to fall back to self, right? I have to check me because sometimes it's not the other person. Sometimes it really is, okay, I got to fall back. Let me relax. God's going to work this out. And if I have to have a conversation, if you're friends for real, you will be okay having a conversation. If you're friends, there is a book, Brittnee, that I'm all about books. There is a book and it's called Developing the Character of God. Absolutely love this book. But one of the things the author talks about is in real relationships, you have to be able to meet each other in the tunnel of chaos. Whenever there's an issue, you have to be able to meet each other in the tunnel of chaos. And I love that so much because how I know we have real, authentic friendship is you're willing to meet me there. And we might bump heads and we might talk things out and we might have disagreements. But then after we get through all that, you're still my girl. You're still
Yeah.
my dope friend. You're still my
Yeah.
strong friend. And I know, and
Yeah.
I'm still yours.
Absolutely. One of the things that I've learned, and I want to say fairly recently, like in this last season, you know, being elevated in ministry and watching how my relationships kind of shifted and changed in that, becoming a mother of two, watching how my relationships changed in that, moving forward in my business and watching how my relationships changed in that. And I've learned to lead with vulnerability
Mm-hmm.
because if I show up to the conversation with my heart like this,
Right.
9 times out of 10, I'll even say 9.9 times out of 10, that disarms everything. So we really can have a conversation because I'm showing you, I'm here in love. Like I'm giving you my heart right now.
Yes.
And that's almost like waving the white flag. Like I come in peace, because I care about the relationship that much. I care about you that much. I had a young lady call me today and we had been through some things. And she shared like, I just wanted to get this off my chest that I was mad at you. And I'm like, okay, like let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Now, mind you though, because I know myself, right? Anybody that I am newly coming into a relationship with, especially like if we're going to be mentor, mentee, big sis, little sis, whatever, I tell them up front, I'm going to make you mad.
Yeah.
I'm,
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to I'm going to offend you. I am going to make you want to quit things. I'm going to get on your nerves.
Yep.
I come with that. Like, but I know that when I'm doing that, it's because I'm trying to make you better.
Yep.
And it's because I love you. So if
Yep.
I tell you that your attitude is off,
Yeah.
just know I love you.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry for saying that,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's because I love you. And if I didn't approach you with it, if I didn't come to you with it, that really means I don't care that much.
Right.
And so I'm always going to say it in love, but I always try to check my own feelings when there is that chaos and when there is that confrontation. I always check, like, okay, am I tripping? Does this person mean me harm? Because
Right.
if I know they don't mean me harm, I'm able to place it where it goes.
Yeah.
It's when you're not sure if they're trying to get at you that's like that gets crazy. But vulnerability is everything. And so I'm listening to this book, Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. And y'all know Brene Brown is like the queen of vulnerability and authenticity and all the things. And it's so like I've gotten further in my business and even here at my job through vulnerability and connecting as a person.
Absolutely love that book. And I love Brene Brown. I do. I always say she's a little spicy, but she is good.
Yes, she's a beast.
She is a beast. I recommend that book to everybody. And her actually she has several books. So I
Yeah,
recommend several books to everybody.
yeah,
But I love what you said about one vulnerability for sure, for sure. Considering the source, right? When you're hearing that, I love that when the young lady called you, you were like, well, let's talk about that. Because here's the thing, right? You have to be able to receive what that, right? So that you can even put it wherever it belongs, but you have to be able to receive
yeah,
because that person, now I'm going to say that person to come to you, I think that's huge.
yeah,
I think it's huge because here's what it does, right? It puts the enemy at bay because what the enemy wants is division.
yeah,
And when you have a community of friends, when you got your strong friends, believe that the enemy is going to come after that because he understands the strength in agreement. He
yeah,
understands the power in agreement, right? He understands the power in numbers and he wants to divide. So for her to
absolutely.
come to you is huge. And
Yeah.
then you to be able to open up to that is also amazing. And that's meeting each other in the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love that you did that. And then you mentioned, oh my gosh, you mentioned the being honest, right? Being honest with, hey, if this is what we're gonna do, I'm gonna make you mad. I'm gonna hurt your feelings, right? I might say something, but listen, but I love you. And what's so funny, Brittnee, is I have that same conversation. I have that.
That's why we here. That's why.
I'm cracking up as I'm listening to you because that's what I say. I said, look, I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna be uncomfortable, but here's why. Because the minute you and I'm passionate about accountability. I am passionate about accountability because I am somebody who knows I need accountability. I understand that Giselle's a little trifling. Sometimes she could be a little off. Sometimes she could be in her feelings. You could see all over her face how she feels. So she needs somebody who's gonna check your face, right? Or sometimes I would post something and one of my friends would text me like, nope, we're not doing that. You right. Let me delete it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you need that. And so accountability, when you ask for it from your friends, you should be ready to receive.
Oh yes, especially when you extra like me. I know my friends be like, girl. So one of the things that I love about my friendships is that we have a group chat
Yeah.
where anything goes, right? And so sometimes we're in prayer and we're like, yes, and things and whatever. Sometimes it's business. Sometimes we talking about stuff that, if anybody ever found this thread, we'd all be, we'd all be disqualified from everything. But we give each other that space
Yeah.
because of who we are every day outside, right? Like I'm an elder of a church, but I'm still a human being,
You are
right?
absolutely.
And so they hold space for me to be human.
Yeah.
And even to the point where if I don't stop myself, they'll be like, okay, all right, come back. you know,
Reel it back in.
reel
Reel
it
it back
back
in.
in. And you know what I appreciate about my girlfriends too? The ones that are closest, my three closest friends, all go to my church as well. And I'm their elder.
Yeah.
And they are able to make that separation.
And that's important.
When I say it's refreshing and I cannot, without welling up, think on it too hard. Because when you are walking in a certain level of leadership, friendship looks different,
Yeah.
especially when you are over the people that you're supposed to be friends with.
Right.
That means sometimes you're going to have to pull rank on them.
Right. Right.
That means they're going to have to be okay with honoring your position in front of other people.
Right.
And even when they know what you're going through or they know whatever, like
Right.
I don't take that for granted at all.
And you should,
Um,
and that's so beautiful, Brittnee. I is
yeah.
so beautiful. I love that you have that because what I was hearing as I was listening to you speak is, being the strong friend or having a strong friend, it's a matter of also giving space, you know, giving space for them to be who they are in their humanity. Because yes, we are three-part beings, right? Yes, we are a spirit, right? We walk through a spirit, we possess a soul, we're in a body. And sometimes I feel like we forget that part. We forget the in a body part. We are in a body. We are experiencing life on earth. We are walking out this humanity. And even though we don't belong to the earth, right, to the
Yeah.
world,
Yeah.
but we're
Yeah.
still experiencing it. And so I love that they give you that space to be who you are, but still understand that you're my elder, you're my elder. I'm gonna respect that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. I'm so grateful. Because as the strong friend, people don't always understand the challenges that you face walking in the certain roles that you have.
Yeah.
I'm literally in a space right now, and I'm gonna be transparent, totally transparent. As an elder, I'm still feeling out what that looks like because first of all, when you hear elder, you think old person, right? Like you think, in my head, you think mature adult
Girl, you're the most
person.
good looking old elder I seen.
It's so, but because mentally, but for me, you know
Right.
how we do the stuff on the inside. We're like,
Yeah.
and so I am grateful for the fact that they also affirm me and reaffirm me when I start to waver, like I'm just this, and they're like, "Girl, you're the elder."
Right.
You walk in there and you stand in it, da, 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 and I'm like, okay. So I say all that to say, not only are you building in business, right? Because my besties, they all have businesses. We all help business each other.
Yeah.
We talking about writing a book together. We talking about hosting events together, all the things. But we're also building life together.
Right.
Like my kids call them auntie and their kids call me auntie, and we take each other's kids out for whatever. And,
Yeah.
we have, gatherings where all the families come together. Like we're building life. And you said the word community. It's so necessary. And so, as the strong friend, how do you, because like we know we need it,
Yeah.
but how do you begin to take down the wall so that you can fully receive community as opposed to trying to be the one to always facilitate community?
Right.
How do you is it a switch that you turn on and off? Is it an authenticating that takes place on the inside of you? Like, what does that look like?
That is such a good question. That is such a good question. And I think that it's first off finding. So there is an amazing book called Find Your People. Actually, I think I have it here. I'm not going to reach for it because all I need is to break something. Um, but there is a book. It's the title Find Your People. I think that's an amazing book because you have to understand. So when I lead a community, right? When I lead a community, let's a small group. I'm gonna give that example because I have a small group. I'm one person, I am leading, right? But I'm a different person when I'm stepping into a community as literally just part of that community.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, I'm just receiving. Like I'm here to receive, and it is the most beautiful and refreshing thing you can do for yourself.
That's hard.
I know it's hard. Listen, I know it's hard, but you have to be able to just sit,
Yeah.
receive. As much as you want to be like, oh, there's that. But I think that, and this kind of, I was thinking about this as I was listening to you talk about your friends giving you that space of elder and saying, you're the elder, go, it's understanding your role when you're in authority and then your role when you're not. And that's okay to let go, right?
Mm, mm,
Because when
mm.
you surrender, how do we praise, how do we worship God, right? We go like this, we lift our hands up in full surrender. Why? Because that's how we can receive.
Right.
And so I think that it has to be for sure a switch of your mindset in, I'm just here to receive. That is it. And just reminding yourself. So for me, somebody who is like, oh, I could do this. We should do this. I'm here to receive. I am listening. I have my active listening ears on, and I am not going to go into facilitating community because I am here to receive from this community. And I feel that my heart is fuller when I am actually just receiving.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to be intentional
Yep.
about receiving. Literally intentional. That's all I can say about that because I'm the chiefest of sinners when it comes to like I'll be out. I was at a spa. I was at a spa, and if you are familiar with the Rhythm of Life conference, we are releasing a book tomorrow called Girl Be Selfish. I wrote a chapter in that book, and I tell this story about how I was at this spa, and it's a Korean spa. So the bathhouse portion, like where the tubs and stuff are, it's nudity only, right? And so first of all, like everybody's like, what? But like when you get there and everybody's just walking around and nobody cares. Like nobody is like tripping. And so you get past that in like the first 3 minutes. But I'm in the hot tub, sitting next to this lady, and we're just sitting there. And I felt the Brittnee N Smith in me
Oh my goodness.
just because you especially if you're a believer, like you pick up on things and whatever. So I don't know if she started the conversation or I did, but like I can't not be me,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so you have to know yourself and know when you are filling your cup through being you. Because for me, those kinds of conversations energize me. I love getting to know new people.
Yeah.
Especially if we like have some stuff in common. Like I
Right.
love that. That's fulfilling for me. But you have to know where your line is.
Right.
You have to know when to say when. You have to know when to charge your batteries.
Yeah.
Um, and sometimes, most of the time, I'm good. But then there are times where I enter into something and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be here, but I'm here now, so
Here we are.
So yeah, it's you have to know yourself that deeply. So let's try to land the plane here. I want to do something different. I want you to shout out each of your B3 ladies and just say one thing that you love about each of them.
Oh my God, just one. Okay.
Yes, just one. We got like 2
One.
minutes.
Dang. All right, so I am gonna say, I'm gonna start with Wandria. So Wandria Hampton, B3 Media, she is a creativepreneur. She's just amazing in her creativity and her anointing. I'm always in awe of her. Okay, so that was one. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going because otherwise I'll keep going on one person. So Kenya Linton, the Kenya Linton.
The
Oh, let me tell you something. She's a pusher. You are gonna do what you said you're gonna do. So she's a pusher through and through. Latoya Hammond. Oh my Lord, that's my boo. She is just one of the strongest. I mean, really just selfless. I'm gonna say selfless
Mhm.
because she's about, how can I help anybody else, everybody else.
Yeah.
And Tisha Cribbett, oh my gosh, Letitia is a beast. She's the producer and she is passionate. Like I'm gonna say passionate. Because she's a little thing, but she is like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So and then Jasmine Moore is my soul sister. She is she's accountability at its finest. Absolutely. That is who she is, the visionary. And I just so appreciate all of them. So I'm gonna cry. Don't make me cry because then Jasmine will make fun of me. So
Listen, I got one more for you. What do you love most about Giselle?
oh girl, what don't I love about you?
Okay, then that's fine.
Self-love ain't a problem with me.
I ain't mad at it.
I I love my sense of humor. I love my sense of humor. I think that is the resilience. I'm gonna say that. No, I got one. My bounce back game. My
Let's
bounce
go.
strong.
Let's
That's me.
go. Speaking of bounce back, tell us about the pain plan.
Oh, the pain plan. Oh my goodness. First of all, y'all have to check out that cover. That is the most amazing branding expert I know. Okay, Brittnee N. Smith. I don't know if y'all heard about her. You need to check her out. But she absolutely brought my vision to life. Brittnee, I love you so much for real. The pain plan The pain plan is my personal story. It is my journey of healing from emotional grief in my marriage and then into separation and divorce, and just how God literally gave me the blueprint for healing and all the things I had to confront, Brittnee, because sometimes we over here like, yeah, we're healed in Christ Jesus. Yes, we are. Bless God, right? But then we out in the streets bleeding over people because hurt people hurt other people
Yep.
and we don't want to be honest about it. So, he walked me through quite a bit. There was a lot of pruning. I'm gonna say that it was a
Ooh.
lot of pruning. It was painful, but he gave me the pain plan. And so that book, I'm excited. I'm excited about its release, June 8th. I'm excited about just everything that God is doing through the book and just helping people heal, because our promise is to be whole in Christ Jesus, but there's work that we have to do. And
Hmm.
sometimes we think praying is going to make it go away, but that's not enough. You got work. We got work. Faith without works is dead.
Yep. Yep. So you guys heard it here. Okay. June 8th, the pain plan is going to be available to you on Amazon. wherever books are sold, you're going to find it. So Giselle, tell us how we can connect with you and find you on social and online.
Yes, I want y'all to hit me up. Follow me on Facebook or Instagram at Jizzy Quinn, Gisiquin, Jizzy Quinn. Just look me up. I'm available, y'all.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today on the show.
Thank you.
Always a good time. I have to usually cut these things short because we literally could just be
I
here,
know. I really,
and forget the cameras rolling and just go.
I
But I am so blessed to call you friend, and to be in the marketplace with you. Ladies, couple of gentlemen who might have snuck in to listen or watch. If you have a book that you have written, or you need help writing a book, or you need legal shields, or you need, a good laugh, anything,
a good laugh. I'm always here for a good laugh.
whatever you need. If you need any of those things, Giselle is your girl. For your media needs, B3 Media. You guys are kicking off on May 19th, right? That's
May
your
19th.
That's the launch party. So follow them on social media as well so that you can be in the place with your face, to help them launch and celebrate the start of this new venture. And yeah, there's a lot going on. Strong Friends Summer is about to be lit. Okay. So
Yeah, I love it. I
thank you
love
guys for tuning in. I
it.
will see y'all next week on another episode of the Brittnee Smith podcast. Bye.